Hello there. Welcome to Bloody Painter Dating Sim. This is a creepypasta fan game that I found on itch.io. And I really know nothing about Bloody Painter, so this is going to be my first introduction to the character. I think it's going to be kind of fun. With a severe headache, you wake up in an unfamiliar place. As you touch the bruise on the back of your head, it seems you were hit by something heavy before you lost consciousness. A heavy iron chain tied around your feet. Someone has trapped you here. You try to remember what happened before you lost consciousness, but you can't recall anything. Let's investigate the surroundings first. Let's look at the mattress. There's a mattress on the floor. The mattress feels really hard to lie on. Where to investigate next? The door. You peek through the keyhole, but you see nothing outside. I wonder where I am. Where to investigate next? Let's go for the meal, see what food is prepared. Near the door, there's a serving of spaghetti with tomato sauce and a bottle of water. Also, a round plastic fork that's completely harmless was thoughtfully attached. It's still warm. It feels like it was sent here not long ago. I suppose let's check out the cell phone. No service. I might be in a remote place or underground. I'm gonna go with underground. This seems like an underground location. The wall. The room is surrounded by 4 walls without any windows. It's weirdly cleaned up and no ashes or sand can be seen. Looks like a prison built by a germaphobe. Where to investigate next? I'm gonna keep saying that until I die. Let's end the investigation. What's the next move? Let's listen. You can't hear any other sound than your own breathing. The soundproofing in this room seems particularly good. Sleep. Knock over the meal? No, let's just go to bed. Let's just go to bed. There's nothing else to do here. You lay on the bed. You try to sleep under this condition. Maybe it's the fatigue caused by nervousness, but you fall asleep. You open your eyes after hearing some noise. A tall man wearing a mask is squatting on the ground and looking at you with his head tilted. He remains silent as if he's sizing up his prey. He points to the plate on the floor, like indicating that you should finish your meal quickly. Thinking that the strange man might have poisoned the meal, you shake your head in fear. Seeing you have no intention of eating, he looks quite distressed.
Die. Not now.
I did not expect this man to have voice lines. He slowly speaks with a deep and steady
The
voice.
freezer is full.
What does that
The
mean?
freezer is full, and there's no space for more. 7 days.
He pauses and thinks.
There won't be space until 7 days later. If you die now, you'll rot.
What do you mean? So I only have 7 days left to live? He nods and walks out of the door. Wait, you can't just leave me here like this, please. Your cries can't stop the door from closing. Let's investigate the surrounding. Okay, let's go look at the food again. A bread and a bottle of water. Look at the door. You peek outside from the keyhole. You see the shadow of the man walking around. Seems to be busy with something. What is he doing? I guess let's go back to bed. Please try to improve your survival rate within 7 days. Day 2, morning. Let's investigate and look around. Nothing. You seem to see something. You see that there is a vague figure at the end of the door. You sense something wrong and realize what that is after narrowing your eyes. That is an artwork made of the human body, not a human being. Ah. You hear the door open. You slowly push the door, as if there's no trace of the strange man. First, you go into a room with a large freezer, sink, and operating table. Then, you open another heavy door. You find yourself in a room full of glass display jars. The jars are filled with specimens from human body parts. It's like you're in an art museum. Could it be that he wanted to freeze me as material for specimen artwork? You're thinking. You seeing the scene. Fuck. Admire the artwork. You look around and admire his work with relish. You look at them for 15 minutes straight. You hear a voice coming from the corner. It turns out that the man has been watching you from a blind spot behind the glass cabinet. I like them. They're so beautiful. The man goes silent, with his head tilted for a couple of seconds after hearing your comment. He seems to be thinking about something. I love his little smiley face pen. It's really cute.
Don't you consider it cruel or bloodthirsty to them?
No, I feel nothing at all.
You're such a weirdo.
It says you. Yeah, you think, aren't you talking about yourself? After you have a tour in his display room, he logs you back in the small room you were in. You go to sleep to end the day. I somehow think I chose the only option to keep me alive. Yep, your survival rate increases. You have to make him like me, I suppose. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. You're already starving. You are waiting for him to bring dinner, but what you get is not dinner. Instead, you hear the door open. A light shines through the crack of the half door, looking like an intriguing invitation. You open the door and walk into that light. You first arrive at the room with an operating table outside the door, but this time the operating table is not empty. There's a defrosted human corpse on it. The man pops out from somewhere. He unties the iron chains to your feet and hands the surgical knife in his hand to you. Oh god.
Where do you think the first cut should be?
His voice tone sounds cold, like the kind of teacher who gives students hard questions on purpose. Stab the corpse. Maybe beautiful works always come with some sacrifices. And this is when he gets close behind your back and holds your hand. You're both holding the surgical knife, like you two are cutting a cake together. With this hand, the line cut becomes smooth and clean. You can smell an ocean perfume on him due to how close you are. It seems to be sprayed to cover up the smell of formalin. You can feel his warmth with your back, but his fingers are a little cold. He's focusing on cutting the corpse, and your hands keeps moving under his lead. He could have killed you or ignored you, but he didn't. You start to speculate on the purpose of his behaviors. Could it be that he wants someone who can't ignore the cruelty and process and understand him? You think. After the happy creative time ends, you're locked in the room you were in. You go to sleep to end the day. Well, I think my survival instincts are fairly on point for this. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. As with most creepypasta games, it's kind of like get them to like you so they don't kill you. We are playing a dating sim. I completely forgot about that. You're already starving. You notice that there's something shiny in the corner. A key. Accidentally dropped it. Oh shit. We go past the operating table, where you two spent creative time together last night. The display room. Then you discover there are unnatural even marks from one wall to the corner. You find a trapdoor. After pushing the trapdoor, you see a normal basement storage room. At the corner of the storage room, you see the stairs that goes up. It turns out that this is really an underground secret room, hidden layer by layer with trapdoor. No wonder the sound insulation is so good. You walk up the stairs and see a heavy wooden board. You push it hard. What catches your eye is the interior of a cozy cabin. Then you realize the heavy wooden board you just pushed back is the back of a bookcase. You look around and find that there are insect specimens everywhere in the cabin. There's also a reindeer head specimen hanging on the wall. You then walk into the living room. Whoa. You see a young man with a handsome face and pale skin lying on the sofa. The ocean-scented perfume and the faint smell of formalin emanates from his body. It's him. It's the masked man who kidnapped you, but he's not wearing a mask this time. His sleeping face has a ferocious expression. His neck's sweating. He seems to be trembling. He looks like he's sick. At this time, you decide to stay and take care of him. You can't bear to leave him alone, so you reach out and touch his forehead. Whoa, so hot. You try to find something that can cool him down. Let's investigate. To the kitchen. The kitchen is spotlessly cleaned. We'll go to the fridge. Ice cubes. The cabinet. Towels. There we go. Let's look around for, spotlessly clean. The man. His expression is ferocious. He seems to be in pain. He's still having a fever. The sofa. Okay. Specimens. It feels like he did them all. H.O. I believe his name is, like, I don't know, I read it was like Otis something. There's Otis in there somewhere. I'm sure we'll find out if we get close enough. The workmanship of these specimens is exquisite. We will investigate the frame. There's a photo. It's a photo of him standing next to the entrance of the Judicial Mental Hospital with a man in a doctor's robe. Cocoa powder. There's a jar of cocoa powder and a cup on it. Let's make him a cup of cocoa. I don't know if that's a good idea. You shouldn't be using his stuff. Lockbox. Combination lock. Oh, shit. Let's not bother with that. Bookcase. Helen Otis, male, October 1st. Oh, shit. Happy late birthday. So his name is Helen Otis. Well, we don't have... We don't seem to have any, like, oh, wait. Bookcase. October 1st, 1980. So, let's see. October 1st, 1980. We'll go to the shelf with the lockbox. And we'll just try 1980. 10:01, October 1st. There's a note in the box says, oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, that's fun. Is there like a save button? I wonder what it means. The living room is spotlessly clean. Where to investigate next? Let's actually write down that code. Interesting. I wonder what that means. Okay. So, I guess let's end the investigation. That code apparently brings you to like a YouTube link, which then brings you to like a series of notes. It's like his patient notes and whatnot. Middle school student attacks local dormitory, 17 deaths and 5 injured. I recommend playing it yourself and trying to figure that out, because that's honestly a cute little secret. Just scroll through and read all that stuff. It's just a lot of lore that I might take a look at in a minute. Let's end the investigation. We have everything we need. You return to the living room, wring out the excess water from a towel soaked in ice, and place it on his forehead. His ferocious expression gradually softened. You once again notice his fair skin and long eyelashes, and his slightly curly black hair. If you don't say he's a murderer, his sleeping face looks very harmless now. After a while, he wakes up to the scent of your brewing cocoa and sits up on the couch. He looks a little shocked. He looks around quickly and seems to understand what's going on.
Why are you doing this?
I want to ask myself that too.
You saw me faint and didn't choose to run away. You're such a weirdo.
Is there anyone weirder than you in this house? You can't help but bitch about him. You seem to see the corners of his mouth rising slightly after a few seconds, and the atmosphere between you relaxes. He doesn't drink the cocoa you brewed for him. It seems that he is still a little wary of you. Can you tell me who you are?
Bloody Painter. That's the name they gave me for my modus operandi. If you find it difficult to pronounce, you can call me BP.
Even though what he told you was just a nickname, at least you know how to call him now. After the brief conversation on the sofa, he does not lock you back in the underground secret room. Perhaps staying to take care of him when he fell ill was enough to prove that you won't run away. You get up from the sofa and continue to look at the specimen decorations in the living room. He sits on the sofa, crossing his legs, picks up a book and starts reading.
By the way, you better not try to escape. There are traps all around the cabin, and only I know how to get in and out safely.
You sit on the sofa. Soon, a wave of sleepiness comes over you. Today, you fall asleep on the sofa in the living room, not the cold underground secret room. Your survival rate increases. You see him busy cleaning in and out of the house early in the morning. I'll come help too. After finishing speaking, you pick up the rag and bucket and join the cleaning, but you can't really see where this almost spotless house needs to be cleaned. You're just taking a clean wet rag and wiping it on the clean cabinet. Do you usually love cleaning this much? Bro's got
It would be
OCD.
covered with a layer of dust.
Yeah, Bro's got OCD. Although he doesn't talk much, his tone and voice give you a gentle feeling and doesn't make you nervous. You climb up the short ladder and wipe the high cabinets with a rag. Suddenly, a cockroach crawls out from the crack in the cabinet. You are so frightened that you lose your balance and fall backwards. You close your eyes, but what you get is not the pain of falling on the ground, but a warm feeling. You open your eyes and find that he's holding you like you're a princess. He catches you with the same cold expression on his face.
Are you all right?
Perhaps to resolve the awkwardness, he asks, I'm alright, it was just a cockroach. Hearing the word cockroach, he puts you down. He takes 2 steps back from the cabinet you wiped and says calmly,
Don't come near here yet.
Why?
It's dangerous.
You can't help but chuckle at the thought of a murderer being afraid of cockroaches. Fine, whatever you say. The interaction just now makes you feel a little warmth from this cold murderer. At least you see more of his reactions and expressions. This is the rare relaxation you've felt in these tense days. He could have let you fall off the ladder, but he rushed over to catch you. Somehow you feel that after these few days of getting along, maybe now you would both have... My brain completely turned off trying to read that. Let me retry that. Somehow you feel that after these few days of getting along, maybe now you both have different ideas about each other than you originally had. I don't know why that was such a struggle. It was only a clear relationship between a murderer who wanted to hunt and a prey who was trying to escape. But now it was an extra layer of friendship, causing the interaction between you to have an indescribable sense of dissonance. Just when you pick up the old newspaper and prepare to wipe the windows, you find a police car parked on the road in the distance. 2 police officers get out the car and keep looking towards the cabin. At some point, Bloody Painter is already behind you looking out the window with you.
Wait for a second.
And then he walks out the door to talk to the police officers.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Are you Mr. Otis?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever seen these people around here? The police officer takes out some photos from his pocket.
Have these people committed a crime and are running away?
No, these people are the missing people around the area.
I haven't seen them before, but wolves and bears often appear around here.
Can we check out your cabin?
Yes, come in.
Bloody Painter behaves very kindly and politely. After speaking, he leads the way for the police officers.
Please, follow my footsteps. I placed some traps near the cabin to protect against wild wolves and bears. You don't want to step on them.
The police officers enter the house and see you. Hello, this
An old
is...
friend who came to visit me recently.
You greet the police officer with a smile and a nod. At the same time, a police officer quickly looks through the missing person's photo in his hand. Then he puts the photo back into his pocket. It seems that your disappearance has not been discovered by anyone yet. You stand next to the bookcase, blocking the entrance to the secret room. After searching around, the police find nothing unusual and leave. His trust in you increases. Today, you still sleep on the couch in the living room instead of in the cold basement. Half asleep, you hear the sound of someone approaching. When you notice it, the person seems to be very close to you. You pretend to be asleep and the person just looks at your sleeping face quietly. The man stretches out his hand and takes it back just as he is about to touch your hair. He turns around and leaves. We got one more day. You see him busy in the kitchen for a while, then breakfast is served in front of you. There is a piece of toast with just the right crispiness on a large round plate, a poached egg on top of the toast, and some lettuce salad. The plating looks delicious. The drink is a cup of freshly brewed hot cocoa. The cutlery he gives you is still a round plastic fork with no offensive features. You sit at the dining table and start eating, while he sits in the chair opposite to you and flips through a book. It's still snowing outside, and listening to the squeaking sound of the fireplace, the atmosphere in the cabin is particularly comfortable. As long as you ignore the fact that you are in the same room with the murderer who kidnapped you, everything is really relaxing. You look at him who is full of mysteries, and some questions arise in your mind, and you decide to ask. This is a really good one. I wonder how he would react to us asking loudly. Let's lean into it. I have a question. You say with a super loud voice. He's not gonna like that.
I'm not Van Gogh. I have ears to hear.
Sorry.
What is it?
Just excited. About potted plants. I saw many potted plants on the shelves in the living room, but why were they all withered?
I've tried my best. I don't know why they always die.
Some people say that plants protect against negative energy, and when a plant dies, it's doing its job and absorbing negative energy sent your way. So I wonder how that would go for a murderer. What book do you usually read?
I would read some anatomy and taxidermy books, but today is different.
What are you
The
reading
Truman
today?
Show.
What is that book
The
like?
whole world that the protagonist lives in, including himself, is all just someone's creation. Everything that happens is watched by the audience, and there is no privacy at all. But he is completely unaware that he is in such a large theater. Very ridiculous, right? I can't imagine this to happen in reality, or to me.
Is that like a fourth wall break about this being a visual
If our
novel?
world was like the Truman Show, how would the audience view the current situation?
It is indeed a fourth wall break. They must be excited.
Why?
They may be attracted by your charm and want to be killed by you.
Incomprehensible.
That's
But
not...
What a bunch of weirdos with good taste.
It's not what I was gonna say, but I understand. It's hard to tell from his poker face whether he's seriously boasting or joking. Pick up the book next to you and read it. You pick up the book next to you and start flipping through. It's a book about the possibility of having a completely opposite version of yourself in a parallel world. If there's a complete opposite version of you, what do you think it would be like?
That book. Let me think. Probably a guy wearing a burgundy coat and always having a smile on his face.
Why is it a burgundy coat?
Because I like blue. If he is the opposite of me, he should like red, right?
Okay. The smile on the face was a bit edgy, but I appreciate it. What work are you going to use me for? Is that a question I should ask here? Because it might make him think of it and solidify an idea. You ask bravely. He looks up at you for a
I was going
moment.
to make you into some kind of doll at first. Your eyes are beautiful, but if they are left alone, they will become rotten and sunken. So I would like to dig your eyes out and put them in a glass jar and soak them in formalin to preserve them. Glass beads will be placed in the empty eye sockets to replace the eyes. You look very pleasing to the eye, so I would also like to keep the head intact.
Thanks for the compliment.
You're welcome.
Why did he say at first? Has his mind changed? You're curious, but you don't have the guts to ask any further. Day 6, noon. Okay, we're getting closer. It's noontime. To thank you for making me breakfast today, let me make lunch in return. Oh, I'm gonna get killed. I'm not a good chef. He frowns at you with an expression like, are you out of your mind? Don't worry, you said there are traps outside the house, only you know how to get in and out normally. Even if I resist you with a knife, I can't escape.
Okay, but I'll keep an eye on you. Don't try anything stupid.
Cooking is trying something stupid. I honestly am not a good chef. As for what to cook and the ingredients, well, bad idea flashes through your head and curiosity makes you ask. Do you eat human flesh?
No. Why would I do that? I just use human bodies as materials for making art, and I never think about eating them.
I thought you murderers all had some degree of cannibalism.
Let's put it this way. Do you eat paint and painting tools?
I'm so sorry. I started dying there for a second.
Just because I kill people to use as materials to make works doesn't mean I will eat them. Also, I'm different from those who have fun committing a crime and kill purely for the sake of killing. Don't confuse me with that kind of unprincipled guy.
What, like Jeff?
I wouldn't do anything unless necessary.
I think he's talking about Jeff.
You are here only because you witnessed the crime scene.
Wait, really? I see. After hearing this, you decide to cook a human meat dish? Get him to try cannibalism? That's fucked up. How do you circumvent being killed by your kidnapper? You out-weird them. You just gotta do the most insane, batshit thing you can. We're gonna cook a common dish. We're gonna make him, like, fish or something. I'd imagine he has a nice pond nearby. Eggs, tomatoes, white rice, and some curry powder. Okay, I've decided. You turn on the oven and start to cook. Bloody Painter watches the entire production process. Rather than worrying about you escaping, he's more worried about you blowing up the kitchen. Soon after, a normal curry omelet rice was served. He stares at the omelet rice without saying a word. Don't worry, there's no poison. Weren't you watching the whole process? He starts to move after you finish speaking. He takes a spoonful of omelet rice and puts it in his mouth. What do you think?
It's surprisingly quite delicious.
I doubt it. I'll take it though. I'll take it. What's wrong?
It's just that no one has cooked for me for a long time.
Well, maybe you should stop killing people and more people will be inclined to cook for you. I can make you more if you like. You had a fairly pleasant afternoon. Alright.
Hey!
You are woken up from your sleep by the man. Oh, he's super close. His face is close to you, and his blue eyes are staring at you. What's wrong? You sit up on the couch and rub your eyes.
Got to go.
Got to go?
I've noticed something unusual about the number of police cars patrolling nearby recently. They must have some relevant evidence and are doubting it. It is very likely there is an ambush outside. It's snowing heavily outside now, and I think it's time to leave now. Come with me or not. It's your choice.
Oh my god. I get to save here? Wait, has there always been a save button? There better not have always been a save button. Go with him. What do you want me to do? I'm fine with both choices, but I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me, what do you prefer me to do? You stare at his eyes. He hesitates to speak and looks away, looking like he's thinking about something. Your behavior makes him a little panicked, and he doesn't seem to be good at this kind of situation. You notice that his ears are flustered, and this unexpected reaction makes you want to tease him a little bit. What do you prefer me to do?
I prefer.
After a moment of silence, he slowly speaks.
Come with me.
This is so cute. Oh, this is adorable. He tries hard to look you in the eyes and speaks his
We'll
thoughts.
set off early tomorrow morning.
Oh. I don't trust it. He's gonna get hurt or something.
Follow my footsteps.
You follow the shoe prints that he leaves in the snow, and finally succeed in avoiding the many trips around the cabin. Many traps. Just as you are walking through the forest, you hear movement behind you. Freeze. In the snowstorm, several policemen who were lying in ambush chase after you. You ignore them and keep running. A gunshot shoots across the sky, and you feel pain in your left calf. You are shot. He turns to look at you, as if he's considering whether to leave you. Run. You yell at him, but he approaches you, and he holds you in his arms. You feel a warmth on your forehead. He kisses your forehead. You feel the time freeze at this moment. The kiss is almost like a goodbye. Then he leaves you and runs forward, disappearing into the heavy snow. You are later taken back to the police for questioning. You say throughout the process that you were a victim. On that note, you're not lying. You don't reveal any unnecessary details. Since there's no relevant evidence to prove that you were an accomplice, the police can only release you after a long period of interrogation. After that... Ooh, it's a pretty room. 2 years pass. Now you live in a cheap little apartment. You live an ordinary life as if what happened 2 years ago never happened. Today is Halloween, and every household nearby has put some thought into making decorations. But for you, it's just another ordinary day of work. When you return to your apartment after getting off work in the evening, the strange thing is that as soon as you open the door, you feel a gust of wind. You remember that you closed the window before going out. Just when you were about to close the window, you find a gift left by someone on the table next to the windowsill. A red rose. You don't know why, but you have a feeling that Bloody Painter has been here. Every Halloween after that, you receive a rose at your residence. It's like a once-a-year greeting. Although he says nothing, the rose seems to tell everything. Although you have certain similarities, you are two people from different worlds after all. Perhaps living your own life this way is the best outcome for both of you. Good end. 4-2, different worlds. Well, that was actually really endearing. That was quite a good time. Let's see if we can get that back up on screen. I hope you enjoyed this little I don't know, romance novel. It was really cute. This dating simulator. It was adorable. Definitely a good introduction to the character. I love the voice acting in it. I was fully prepared to do it myself, and I'm very glad that I didn't have to, because oh my god, I cannot read. I'm a bit sick at the moment, so I apologize if my voice is off in any way. But thank you for joining me along on this adventure. Definitely go check out the game yourself, see where that code in the lockbox leads you. But yeah, if you have any recommendations or anything else you want me to check out, just leave it in the comments. And I will see you later.